you, Ricardo. Good morning, Minister. I stand on the protocol that has been established, and however, I'd like to recognize a few special persons that have been what I refer to as the winds beneath my wing from the time that this whole process has started, and I would be remiss if I didn't do so. I speak of the presence of Mr. Alpheus Hawk Finlayson. I'm actually going in the order that I knew him because there's someone that has been beneath my wings for a very, very long time, not quite as long as Hawk, but I want to recognize my wife and my daughter. Of course, my favorite sister, she's my only sister, Veronica in the back there, and my nieces. My brother is somewhere in the audience, but you wouldn't miss him if he was here because he's my little big brother, but he's about 200 pounds heavier than I am. But nonetheless, I want to begin by saying without fear of contradiction that today, Tuesday, January the 14th, is an historic day for Nassau, indeed the Bahamas, as all members of NACAC, North America, Central America, and the Caribbean Association family of World Athletics, who have reposed their confidence in me to lead this august body over the next several years. For the second time in the history of NACAC, which consists of 31 member federations or countries and 4 associate members, namely United States, Canada, all of the Caribbean, Central America, and Mexico. The headquarters is being located in an English-speaking country for the second time in its history, Jamaica being the first when Neville Teddy McCook occupied the presidency of the organization. May Teddy's soul rest in peace. The Bahamas is undoubtedly one of the smaller members of the NACAC family, but our members, our athletes have shown that it is not the size of a country, but the genuine commitment of its people to hone their talents in pursuit of excellence in their athletic endeavors that allows us to be recognized as a global power in sport. Bahamians are true lovers of sport. We are all of an understanding of the role of physical literacy, physical activity, and sport in the holistic development of the human condition. The entire sporting fraternity of the Bahamas stand in solidarity with the Beatriers, and I recognize Mr. Jamaica Archer as the president. The Beatriers today, as is evidenced by your attendance here this morning, in recognition of this historic moment in our nation's history and collective trust towards genuinely sustainable national development and the location of sports in this broader endeavor. On behalf of NACAC, I am most appreciative by the commitment of the Governor of the Bahamas, the Honorable Minister Lanisha Rolle, through your ministry, the Minister of Sports, for your presence here today. And we in the Bahamas are keenly aware that Tuesdays are special days for the Governor of the Bahamas, being cabinet days, and as such you have to take special permission to be in attendance or to be late, to not be in attendance, not be late. So we'll sign your slip for you on the way in. I thank you for the provision of the office space at this prestigious facility known as the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, which undoubtedly stands among the best among our region and indeed the NACAC family in particular. I am also thankful for the availability of administrative and other forms of assistance and support that will allow NACAC headquarters to become a beacon of our sport in both the Bahamas and indeed the Americas. We are thankful for the ever-present support of our World Athletics president, led by the legendary Lord Sebastian, and who I can truly call a friend, having known him for a number of years. He has taken the time from his very demanding schedule to be with us during this past several days. We know that we are all in this challenge of maintaining athletics as world leader in sport. I thank you for being here, sir. We can assure you, Mr. President, that my council and I, and indeed all of NACAC, will continue to support you and your council as we move forward onto new strategies and pathways forged out of the already very rich legacy of those who went before us in this noble undertaking. The athletes are the entire focus of our sport and will play a major role in the future of our area. Our coaches, Our technical officials and administrators will receive due attention. Our women can feel confident that they will continue to be full and equal partners in all aspects of our work. And I want to pause here again to recognize one of the top leading women in athletics in our region, having been named as the Woman of the Year. Please recognize the presence of Miss Evelyn Miss Evelyn Lopez. We have so many Evelyns, right? Miss Evelyn Lopez, who's indeed a pioneer in women's sports. And I also recognize the presence of Vice President of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Ms. Cora Hepburn. We thank you all for your support. Towards this end, we conducted our first formal meeting yesterday, where we identified several matters that will be given immediate attention. Even this morning, we had a very constructive meeting, or wrap session, if you will, with our president. My NACAC council and I, and again, I would pause to introduce them in the order that they sit. Ms. Sidoni Mothersill of the Cayman Islands, NACAC member. Ms. Evelyn Farrell of Aruba. Ms. Catherine Jordan, First Vice President of Barbados. Mr. Ephraim Surratt, our Treasurer out of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Howard Cornelius out of Antigua and Barbuda. And of course, by extension of our NACAC Council, we have Mr. Willie Banks from the United States. You know, it's important to understand the history and how persons transition from being athletes into being administrators of the sport. And so Willie gets embarrassed sometimes, but he's not going to do it. But I want you to know that we all know how familiar it is once we start to clap and to clap and to clap. And everyone around the world now claps before the athletes start. That is the gentleman that invented the clap, Mr. Willie Banks, former world record holder in the triple jump. Also, our special guest, we have the president of the Turks and Caicos, along with her general secretary, Ms. Edith Skippings. And Ms. Skippings appointed herself as the whip of the NACAC Association. So, and she told us point blank that she will keep our feet to the fire, and that is good. So, you know, we don't mind checks and balances. As I told them, we started with a clean sheet, and we have to continue with a clean sheet. So it's okay to always have checks and balance so we don't get carried away as we move towards making the area a better and a stronger area. Because when you speak of a strong area, just as a point of information, at the recent World Championships, we as NACAC achieved 50 medals, I think 20 of which were gold medals, out of a possible 41 gold medals, I think that were possible to be had, or 49. And the NACAC area athletes also were responsible for 7 world records throughout the course of this past season, both in the junior and the senior level. And so we have to continue to build on that rich legacy, and the confidence that has been reposed in me to lead this august body is going to be very challenging, but I'm very satisfied to know that I have a full support of persons, and I will carry with me what I've learned for a long time ago, and I have to give recognition to my mentor and now deceased, but Dr. Bernard Nordage. I think he would be proud looking down, even though he suspended me more than any other athlete has ever been suspended. And when I used to ask him, well, what did I do? So he said, that's because I love you and I want to see you do good. So I'm sure if he were here today, how was that? Anyway, my NACAC Council and I stand committed to you today on this momentous occasion, and we're excited and delightfully proud of the achievements of our NACAC athletes on the global arena. And so at the end of the day, I want to assure you that we will continue along the footsteps that have been set for us, and we look forward to your continued support. And I want to again thank you, Minister, and thank all of you for being here. Thank you very much.